credible.
Yeah, and it's such a horror trope, too, that happens. But it also, I guess, helps propel the story forward, because then they have to sneak around.
It's like when a kid in Critters or the child character in Ghoulies 2 runs to an adult and says, "You don't understand. There are these little monsters. I call them ghoulies, and they live in the whatever." And they're just like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, kid." Now I'm not even going to go look in whatever box it was. If you said there were a bunch of rats, I would have looked.
Come with me. There's a bunch of rats in the thing. Rats? Oh, no.
Oh, shit, we got to get rid of these rats. And so you don't understand. There are these, what, they say.
It was in the toilet. Much. It flicked me off.
No one would do this. Yeah. Nowadays, even a 10-year-old, I think, would know better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. And you're right, because I guess it's not just, hey, Dr. or Dean Halsey, can you come to the lab at 5 p.m. today? Oh, no, I can't. Oh, that's fine. Can you come to the lab at 1 p.m. tomorrow? Just for 15 minutes. Okay, right, great. I'll see you at the lab. And when they come in, bop, boop, bam.
Stage it. Right.
Yeah. But that wouldn't propel the story forward. And that wouldn't lead to, oh my gosh, Dr. Carl Hill getting his head chopped off with a shovel with very squishy noises that I know you adore. And the
sound in this is great.
And I also know that you like the tentacles as well. But I guess you just got to do it to propel. And it's also, people, I guess we're talking about what we should do in the real world, but I mean, movie logic is necessary in some sense. Like, when I watch a movie about filmmaking, the camera's never placed in the right spot, John. The shot that they are getting and the sound that they are getting is wildly horrible. But in movie logic, it works, so I just roll with it. So I guess you just gotta know that, like Last Action Hero, the chief is always yelling. In horror worlds, the characters always run, and they're like, "Hey, there's a giant turd that just came to life. It's in the kitchen making brownies." Like, what?
Exposure to the void or the other side or the influence. So this could, he has been exposed to something inconceivable by our understandings of the world. And so maybe this is, in fact, his panic attack, his mental breakdown, if you will.
No, that's
fair. I guess I can rationalize. It's just that it didn't feel like that in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the kinds of things that, if I'm playing armchair, which I suppose we're doing whenever we get in front of our microphones here, like, yeah, this could be that madness kicking in, or even just the human panic response. But either way, these scenes, though, these exposition scenes, you're not just waiting for them to end.
Yeah.
And when you're watching a Friday the 13th sequel, I don't care if it's the most fun or the least fun Friday the 13th sequel for you. You are often waiting to get to the next fun scene, and then the fun scene happens, and then we're waiting to get to the next fun scene, and then that happens. Even Crispin Glover dancing crazily. That's really only entertaining when you know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, this is just a weird scene that, okay, like, is someone going to die here?
Corkscrew!
Right, you're just waiting for something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like that really happens in this movie.
No. It's because, I mean, it's just propelled so quickly. And the energy that they keep up in this movie. I mean, just Barbara Crampton's yelling in this movie. And just the way it's constantly moving, the energy. What's really interesting is, I know that Stuart was aided greatly by Mac, the DP. But Stuart Gordon, and obviously the screenplay, Dennis Paoli and William Norris, the producers were on set, they were experienced, he had good actors, but there's a propulsive energy in this movie that is quite hard to do in a first film. And you watch Stuart Gordon's other movies, we covered, King of the Ants on this, and it's very, very slow, to call it a slow burn would be doing it a favor. It's very, I don't know. You miss that manic energy. He came out the gates with just
too intellectualized for its own good.
Well, King of the Ants?
Yeah. Is that what
I don't even want to talk about that movie anymore. No. But it's
fair.
It's yeah. I mean, just that manic energy, John. I don't think he just. I don't know. I don't think he said that he had a lot of problems on set. He didn't quite know what he was doing, which is fine because how would he? But I think that's what a first director does. Let's do it. Let's make this. Let's do this energy. Let's make this decision. Because what horror movies can you think of that actually keep up a sort of manic I'm not saying this movie's manic, but it has a very interesting vibe to it. And I mean, and just Herbert West is like a very odd villain because he's not the stereotypical villain. Well, what other movies would you compare to this as far as keeping up energy? Like Evil Dead, does Evil Dead keep up this energy?
See, the thing is, I want to say a movie like Slither, but when I really think hard, Slither does have clearly slower, even if well acted and charismatic, clearly slower exposition scenes. It falls a victim to being a movie that needs to create connective tissue between its main scenes. So it's like so even a movie I love as much as Slither, with as many charismatic actors that work as well on screen, which is so rare, as in this, all these actors work so well on screen together. Well, all 6 of them, I suppose.
Yeah.
5, arguably. But that's it's so odd. I agree, Mario. It's so hard to find things like that. I will, The Thing obviously has slower parts, but whenever The Thing has slower parts, I'm usually tense, or I'm getting to know what life is like in this compound. But again, that can feel slow to people. I don't even know.
You know what I've been thinking about lately, and that is the pacing. Okay, not the pacing.
How about the pacing of In the Mouth of Madness?
Like in Carpenter's movies. All right, I just want to bring up a few of them real quick. Where you have The Thing, you have In the Mouth of Madness, you have Prince of Darkness, and I know people hate, but Escape from L.A. and let's say Ghosts of Mars. I was watching Ghosts of Mars the other day, and I stabbed myself when I was trying to eat salmon. I had a jump scare so big. I had a piece of salmon coming towards my mouth. There was a weird Mars demon in the background behind Natasha Henstridge before she has she kicks him in the face. And I just stabbed myself right in the face with a fork, and my salmon went flying off of that. But there's something about the mood of a Carpenter. This is way off base, but there's something about the mood of a Carpenter film where we just spent a lot of time with it. But there's a very Carpenter mood. I don't know, like Ghosts of Mars has a very unsettling, the score, the vibe. It feels, we're not going to figure it out here. But it's almost the opposite of what Stuart Gordon does here. And that's not saying one is right or wrong. But I don't know, the mood of Carpenter, I don't think Carpenter needs to propel himself forward. Escape from LA does that to a certain extent. But there's not a big like In the Mouth of Madness sometimes takes its time, even though he's exploring. There's not like a propulsive energy that there is like in this movie.
In The Mouth of Madness, when I mentioned that though, because its slow parts are almost giving you time to think about and gel and appreciate what's going on.
Yeah.
The Thing, I could say that, but it has more and longer and slower parts. Not to a fault or anything, but just it's the way it's designed.
I mean, a paranoia film, you do need to sit in the... when you make a paranoid thriller like The Thing, it's also a monster movie, it's a creature feature, but paranoia needs to take place, so you can't be so propulsive. You need to sit in the paranoia.
Even the ping pong scene.
Yeah.
Before anyone was infected, though, even though there aren't a lot of scenes before anyone was infected, I really appreciate adult John appreciates seeing their way of life, what they're like, how they're interacting, their cabin fever that's setting in. 25-year-old John didn't get that. 18-year-old John definitely, he's just like, where's the monster?
Yeah.
And 12-year-old John was like, really, where's the monster? So, so it weren't a lot, but couple scenes, even when they're chatting during the autopsy scene. It's a very slow chat, and it's just a still frame.
Yeah.
On that creature. So I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, it's hard to find a movie like this. This is a very I don't know if the word is electric, but it keeps you tuned in. You don't relax. You're never waiting. The most boring part of this movie, no joke. The most boring part of this movie is when he's going in the basement to find out what's going on with the cat and he falls down the stairs. Him falling down the stairs. I'm not kidding. This is a weird thing to say. Him falling down the stairs stands out to me as the most boring part of the movie.
Oh my gosh.
That 4 seconds is the most boring part of the movie for me.
Oh, brother. Hey, so how about this? I love that scene because it's so bonkers. But hey, how about this? Let's take a quick break. Then when we come back, we will talk more Re-Animator. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I was thinking about this, John. I'm like, should we do a Barbara Crampton draft? Should we do a Stuart Gordon? Should we do a Jeffrey Combs? But I was looking through 1985 horror, and I think we should do a real quick 1985 horror draft. And I will give you first pick.
I hate you.
This is like your year. There's a lot of ones you love in this.
I know. I got to think about. I'm very quickly pulling up my index.
Yeah, no, you can pull them all. You can go on IMDb. That's fine.
Which is like 10,000. Oh, Life Force.
Life Force. Got it.
We're just doing any horror movie, right?
Any horror movie.
Yeah, Life Force is a hands down for me. I love. One day we're going to talk about it.
That's fine. Life Force? I just watched it recently because of my vampire stuff.
We have discussed Life Force so much off mic that I often question if we've podcasted about it before.
Good old Toby Hooper. Oh, all right, here we go. Dude, that movie was made. That's crazy. It's worth talking about. All right, I'm going to take Fright Night. I know it's a ringer.
I knew you were.
We've covered it on the pod, man. I think we've covered it on the pod a couple times, and we love that movie, so I'm taking that.
We did two back-to-back Fright Night pods. We did the original and the remake, and then the sequel and the remake of the sequel. Although the remake of the sequel wasn't a remake of the sequel at all. It was just a sequel of the remake. I'm going to do The Stuff.
Ooh.
A lot of social commentary going on in The Stuff.
See, I knew a 1985 draft would make you happy. All right. So, The Stuff. I know what you're going to take. Oh, you know what I'm going to take? Oh, that's big pressure on me here.
I think you know. I think I know.
All right, we'll say it.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good logical choice.
Said Mork. I love that movie.
I'm gonna go. That's not really horror. I don't know if I should pick that. It's a Frankenstein movie, but it's not really horror. I'm gonna go off the cuff a bit. I'm gonna pick The Bride.
Hey.
That is, and for anyone listening, and they're like, John, what the hell are you talking about? That is Sting, as in the music star, and Jennifer Beal, who is the star of Flashdance, and the first movie of, oh gosh, why can't I think? He played the Kurgan.
Oh gosh, Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown, and it is a Frankenstein, or it is more specifically a Bride of Frankenstein movie, but it is really a fantasy first, romance second, horror third, distant third, but I'm picking that. That is a very interesting movie.
All right, I feel bad taking another one, so I'm going to jump on Silver Bullet because I loved that as a kid. I haven't watched it in many years, but I love me some Silver Bullet.
I got some flack when I shared my review on that because as an adult, that did not hold up well for me.
As a kid, though.
It's very obvious why that works so well as a kid. But as an adult, that one did not translate well to me at all. I get the nostalgia. I enjoy the nostalgia of it. But yeah, it's still a great nostalgia movie. I'm not going to question that at all.
And remember, Re-Animator's on the board, so you can take it.
Oh my God,
You can have it.
Re-Animator
It's your
blindness.
pick.
I had. Why don't we just say no Re-Animator? Because now I'm going to pick it.
I mean, I think we should to promote it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine. You went with Life Force stuff in The Bride, man. I picked Friday Night.
Realistically, I would have picked Re-Animator second and The Stuff third.
Okay, so you got Re-Animator.
Did you just think of it now? Would you have picked it earlier?
Yeah, I did. No.
You should have told me.
I would have taken Fright Night or Return of the Living Dead first.
You should have taken it for a steal.
I don't like stealing. I like playing to pick teams I love. All right. I'm gonna take. Hopefully you don't think this is too much of a ringer, but I do love me some Day of the Dead.
Oh, good.
I gotta take me some Day of the Dead.
And I want Demons. 1985 Demons.
Oh gosh, this is hard. I get the last pick. Halloween 2. There's a Friday the 13th movie. There's Cat Eye. But I gotta go with Freddy's Revenge. Yeah.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. So that was tough for me not to pick that, but I still wanted my style pick of The Bride.
See, I knew you would like this year. This is like